Welcome everyone to our open day yoga class. There's some regulars and some new faces. Very happy to see you all here. For those I don't know, hello. For those I don't know, my name's Karen and I will be guiding you through your practice this morning. We've got a 1 hour Vinyasa class. There are some stronger elements in it. If you have any wrist sensitivities, you are welcome to come down onto your elbows. I'll tell you when that's going to happen as well. If you don't know, I'm alluding to the fact that we're doing planking. Yeah, okay. There are planks, but there will be modifications and I'm going to give you options along the way. So please do what you can, rest when you need to. Our theme today is about taking a middle way, so keep that in mind and I will ramble on about that in a moment. Yep. We're going to start in a comfortable seat today. I like to sit on bolster. This is just to ensure my hips are a little bit higher than my knees. You are also welcome to sit on a block or one of these small cushions or pillows if you've got them available. If you commit to one variation and you think this is too high or too low, please feel free to shift it. You don't need to stay in that one position if you're uncomfortable, so just find a space. We're making sure that we're just coming a little bit forward on our prop, so our sit bones are just kind of dropping down slightly. You'll feel your hips level out. Hands can be placed on your thighs, palms facing down or up. Let's give our shoulders a little bit of a roll back and forth. You can move your neck around. Take in some movement to help yourself land into the space. You might start a few deep breaths. You might feel that you need a little bit of twisting or leaning. And then as you are ready, we're going to come into some stillness. Feeling your sit bones connecting down into the prop or the earth. And almost allow a little bit of a sinking sensation. Melting down and grounding. We're going to very lightly draw our belly button in. So we're not clenching it in, we're just creating a tiny little sensation of the belly button drawing back towards the spine and feeling your tailbone lengthen down. Feel your ribs draw in and down, creating length in your mid-back. And we'll tuck our chin very slightly to create length in the neck. Let's take our shoulders up, back, and let them melt down your spine, opening, creating a proud chest. As you inhale, feel that lengthening sensation through the spine. And as you exhale, let yourself connect, ground, and land. We lean back very slightly, coming into a space where head, hearts, and hips are stacked, allowing for a smooth flow of energy along our spinal column. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale to ground. In and out. Slowing the breath and letting the mind slow with it. As we arrive on our mats in preparation for our practice of yoga. And as we come together in our practice in this space and this time, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we are practicing. Here in the studio, that is the Darug people. And I'd also like to give my thanks and my gratitude to the golden thread of teachers who have brought us this practice. Take a moment to realign that length in your spine, feeling the steadiness in your hips and finding a balance point, almost where your body is very lightly floating. You're holding yourself, but at the same time, you're allowing the steadiness of the pose to hold you. Today and in this month of February, the intention I bring to you is one of taking the middle way, allowing for effort but also for ease. Exploring those sweet spots where you are supported and strong, yet soft and flexible. And today in particular, I invite you to think about maybe just a 60% effort in your practice. Sometimes we come to our class, we want to get the most out of our hour. But just check in and see how sustainable that is. A whole hour of 100% effort is a lot of work. Whereas spending an hour together with 50 or 60% effort allows a sense of presence and experience. Let's take a deep inhale and sigh out through the mouth. Feeling the softness, the steadiness, all happening at once. So we pause for a few moments and allow our intentions for our time together to settle. Drawing into the breath. Inhaling. And as you exhale, you might like to gently flutter open the eyes and allow your body and mind to arrive back in the room, take in the visual scapes around you. Start to gently move through the arms, giving the wrists a bit of rotation. We have been sitting in this position for a little while, so you are welcome to swap the leg that is in front, or you may like to extend your legs out long if this cross-legged position is becoming a little tight. Let's bring our hands down either side of our body. Roll the shoulders back and down, reconnect with that alignment through the spine. And as you inhale, rotate the wrists all the way up towards the sky. When you arrive at the top, let the palms connect and float them down through heart center. We meet in Anjali Mudra, gently bowing the head towards yourself and towards each other as we welcome ourselves into the space. Inhale, hands towards the sky. We're going to invite a twist. Exhale, we're going to take our right hand to our left knee And take our left hand behind us. I'm cueing without mirroring because we're in a circle, so my lefts and rights are going to be even worse than normal, so I'm sorry in advance. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, allow the twist to form in your body. Remember, 60% effort. Draw it back a little. Your arms in this position are going to encourage a twist. You don't need to force it. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, unravel, hands towards the sky. And exhale, come into the other side. So left hand to right thigh. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, just let the twist be as it is. Feel your body gently twisting and let it happen. One more inhale. And stay with your exhale. Inhale, let's take our hands up towards the sky again. And exhale, bringing them down either side of your body. If you are sitting on a prop, now you may like to move it to the side. And we'll take our legs out long in front of us. Now, if you're finding that this straight position's a little bit tight for you, you are welcome to place a little cushion underneath your knees for some extra support. We're going to flex through our feet, draw our pinky toes towards us. Same as when we were sitting, we've got our tailbone lengthening down, our belly drawing in, we're feeling length in the spine. Hands touch either side of you. Draw the shoulder blades back. Try and touch your shoulder blades. And as you exhale, we're going to hinge from the hips. It's just a very light hinge. Because your shoulders are drawing back, you'll find you can't round and get as low as expected. Open the heart, shoulders down, little lean. Remembering that 60% effort, if it's feeling intense, just come up a little bit. Keep those feet flexed. One more inhale. And as you exhale, let go of all effort. Let your chest melt, round, soften. You might rock a little bit side to side. Let some space come into your back. And then we'll inhale to roll ourselves up. Give yourself a shake. We're going to cross our legs and roll over into a 4-point kneeling position. Now, this is where I will invite you to find your blocks. Place one on either side of your mat so they're available as you need them. I'll also let you know that you do have a permission card near your mat. If you're okay with me physically touching you, keep the yes side up. If you'd prefer to not be touched, turn it over the other side. That will just let me know. If you'd like to add layers of clothing, remove layers, you can now. We're going to meet in a 4-point kneeling, hands directly under shoulders, knees under hips, and let's explore our cat-cow, moving with our breath. Inhale, we're dropping the belly, lifting the chest, draw the shoulder blades together. And exhale, scoop the belly round the spine, nose to navel, big angry cat. Inhale, open. And exhale to round. Let's just take a few rounds at our own pace with an invitation for some free movement. If you need to shake anything out of your body, give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, move the hips, make some circles. Just a couple more moments like this, allowing you to really connect into what is happening for your body in this space today. And then as you are ready, let's come into neutral. That means that your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders, about shoulder width apart. Your peace fingers are pointing forward, so they're not rotating in. Everything is pointing forward, allowing a little bit of external rotation. Feel the palms sink into the mat, almost like a bit of a corkscrew effect. You're trying to just gently press your hands outwards so that you're anchoring into your mat. Your elbows are straight but just one click past locked. So make sure you're not locking them out for all my hypermobile friends. There's a little bit of gentleness there. Lift through the shoulders. Feel that buoyancy and make sure your shoulders are drawing back away from your ears. And the same thing as when we were seated. Ribs are in and down. Belly's lightly drawing in and your tailbone is lengthening towards your heels. Gaze is going to be just at the very top edge of your mat. So it's not looking down at your hands, tiny bit forward, so you should feel some length in your neck. And let's just take 3 breaths here, feeling that energy in the shoulders, in the wrists. It should be active, yet soft. 60% effort. When I say 3 breaths, please know it's subjective. Some of us might have more, some might have less. Let's take a final inhale and an exhale. We're going to tuck our toes. Keep that engagement in your hands and your shoulders. Make sure you've got that little bit of a corkscrew so there's an external rotation gently coming through your wrists. We're going to float our hips up towards the sky to find our very first downward facing dog, maintaining that connection with your palms in the earth. Spread your fingers. If you need to step your feet back a little or wider, adjust your feet. Don't lose the connection with your hands. You can soften through the knees to allow your tailbone to really lengthen up towards the sky so that anchor you've created in your hands draws energy up through the length of the spine. Let your chest melt back towards your thighs and give your head a little shake. Holding here a moment. 60% effort. Does that mean you need to soften or does that mean you need to engage? One more inhale and exhale. Let's soften the knees, looking up between your hands, and we're just going to tippy-toe all the way to the top of our mat, meeting in our Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's place our feet around about hip width apart. The long edges of your feet should be parallel with your mat. That means your toes are going to be a teeny touch in and your heels are going to be a teeny touch out. We'll take some spinal rolls. As you inhale, let's straighten the legs, lengthen the spine so it's parallel with the floor. I like to place my hands on blocks for this. Some people like hands on shins. Some people have length in their arms to keep fingers on the earth. As you exhale, soften the knees. Let the head and chest melt towards the earth. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, straighten the legs, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. One more, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale. As we inhale this time, we're going to straighten the legs, scoop the belly and realign the spine, one vertebra at a time. Feel that midline of your body realigning as you roll all the way up to standing. Head and neck come up last. Give your shoulders a roll. Palms facing forward. Tadasana. Here we're just going to take a moment, subtle movement in your feet. I want you to just roll your energy out onto the long edges of your feet. So you're kind of just letting everything move slightly. And then roll the energy inward so you're coming onto your arch. So your ankles will move a little bit. If there's any pain in your ankles, please avoid this one. Roll out. And roll in. So this is a tiny movement in the feet. Spread the toes nice and wide once more. And then start to find that middle point in your feet. This will mean your weight is evenly distributed across the outside and the inside of your foot. And to find that middle point, you might find there's a bit more energy in the outer edge of the foot. Lift through the kneecaps, draw the belly in, shoulders back and down. Take a breath as we start to prepare for our flow. As mentioned, please do what you can. Rest when you need. I will be layering and giving you modifications along the way. Take a moment to reconnect with your intention. What does 60% energy mean to you today? Together we inhale. Together we exhale. Inhale, hands are going to come up towards the sky. You're in Urdhva Hastasana. And then from here, we're going to bend our knees and sit back into our chair pose, Utkatasana. Here we are making sure you can see your toes past your knees, and that same principle, that lengthening in the spine. Tailbone's long, ribs in and down, chin is tucked. Think proud chest. I'm going to tell you to come a little bit lower, but I will also remind you, what is 60% effort here for you today? In a chair pose? The philosophy of yoga. Taking an inhale. Exhale, hands together, bring them to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Keep that chair pose holding. Let's find strength and stability in our left foot. Find that balance, that middle point in your sole of your foot. And we're going to just come up onto the tippy toes of the right foot. And then if we can, float the right foot back into a crescent lunge. Nice. Inhale, we'll take our hands high to the sky, and I want you to plant your back heel down. So you're not on your tippy toes, you have now anchored it down. It's about 45 degrees, so it will be turned out slightly. Make sure your front knee is angling over your pinky toe. Let's sink into that lunge a little bit deeper. Open the heart. Find your 60%. We come into arrowhead. This is a hinging motion from your hips. We're going to bring our hands down, float them either side of your body. So in this pose, we are not coming all the way down to our knee. We're actually got an open chest. The head is like the tip of the arrow, the arms are the sides. Proud chest, lengthen that spine. Find that central column in your body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, hands are going to come up towards the sky. We've still got that lunge in our warrior one. And then exhale, hands are going to come to the floor. We're going to walk to the long edge of our mat, so you're going to be walking towards your right. We're all facing different ways, just to confuse me. So this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, we got it. That was not on camera. I'm so glad. You are in a wide-legged forward fold. So you've got your heels a little out, your toes a little in. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, halfway lift. And exhale, folding down. Keep your hips nice and steady over that line of your heels, and you can walk your hands forward to create some length in the spine. 60% effort. Don't walk further forward than you can support yourself. Nice. Let's just bring our hips back a little bit. Lovely. Inhale. Stay with your exhale. Inhale, lifting up, we walk our hands back to the top of our mat. So your left foot is forward, your right foot is back. And then we're going to ground our hands, step back to a downward facing dog, and lower the knees down to the earth. Setting up that 4-point kneeling position. Find that alignment, that nice strength in your spine. Bring your left hand a little closer to the middle of your mat. We'll take our right hand up towards the sky. We're coming through a thread the needle. Exhale, take the right arm under the left armpit. Inhale, float it up to the sky. Exhale, thread it under. Inhale, float it up. Last one, take it under and draw it up. Hands to the earth. Now this is where, if wrists are very sensitive for you, please come down onto your elbows. That is okay. We're going to tuck our toes. Keep your knees bent. Feel that anchoring in your palms. Spread the fingers, energy through the shoulders. Little bit of a corkscrew sensation in the hands. We're going to hover our knees about an inch off the mat and then gently tap them down. Let's do that twice more. Hover and lower. Last one, hover and lower. Now from here, we are going to be soft. We're going to just take our knees back slightly, and I want you to lower to the mat, not knees, chest, chin, not chaturanga. You're bringing your thighs, and then you're melting your belly and your chest down. Soft, soft, soft. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Let's lengthen the legs, tops of the feet are grounded. Lift the kneecaps, a little bit of energy in the front of the legs, but try and soften your glutes. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together, lift the chest, baby cobra, gaze is forward. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the chest rest down. And then we're going to press back through a child's pose. Take a breath. This is a pose you can come to at any point if it feels good for you. One round down, we're going to do the other side. Gaze is forward. Coming up, 4-point kneeling. We'll tuck our toes and lift our hips, downward facing dog. Looking up, you can hop, step or float to the top of your mat. Find that hip width apart position. Feet are grounded, toes are spread. Inhale, roll yourself up. Hands to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. We're doing everything from the top. Exhale, chair pose. Feel that length. Connect with your 60%. If you tell me that straight legs are your 60%, I do know you're lying, yeah. Inhale. Stay with your exhale. Hands come to heart center. Find that balance, that middle line in your right foot. Come up onto your left tippy toes and then have a play with either stepping or floating the left foot back, crescent lunge. Inhale, hands to the sky, and let's plant our back heel down. Warrior 1. Make sure that front hip is drawing back and your back hip is drawing forward. Sink a little in, inhale, and exhale. Arrowhead, we're going to hinge forward. Feeling that length in the spine. Don't push further than your 60%. Sit with this. Slow, steady breaths in and out. In and out. Inhale, hands towards the sky and then down to the earth. And then walk your hands to the long edge of your mat or the left side of your mat. Yes, okay. Heels a little out, toes a little in. Inhale for your halfway lift. And exhale to melt forward into your wide-legged forward fold. This time, option to take your hands underneath your body towards the back edge of your mat, creating more length in your spine. Remembering trying to keep those hips over your heels. Focusing on that center line of your spine. Keep it long. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. And then walk your hands back to the top of your mat. So you're pivoting. Your right foot will be forward. Ground the hands. Let's step back to our downward facing dog. Knees to the earth. Find your balance. That focus we've been working on with our palms. Bring your right hand a little into center, left hand towards the sky. Let's thread the needle. Exhale, take it under. Inhale, up. Exhale to thread. Inhale, up. Last one. Take it up. Hands reconnect to the earth. We're coming into that knee hover. So let's tuck our toes. Make sure your shoulders are back away from your ears. You're not hunching up. You've got space in your chest. Let's hover the knees and lower the knees. Hover and lower. Last one, hover and lower. Remember, soft, soft, soft. Bring your thighs to the earth and then let your belly come down. Baby cobra, a little bit of a build on. Tops of those feet are planted. Draw the shoulder blades back. Lift the heart. Squeeze your glutes a little bit. Float your hands about 5 millimeters off the back. Feel the lift coming from the squeeze of your shoulder blades. One more inhale. And exhale, melt it down. Back to child's pose. Taking a beat. We're coming through the flow again. There will be a couple of modifications, but please know everything we did in those first 2 rounds are still very much available to you. If that was your 60%, stay there. You don't need to add on. Let's tuck the toes, lift the hips, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And then hop, step or float to the top of your mat. Setting up your feet, make sure you've got that foundation all ready to go. Roll yourself up, feel that column of your spine realign, hands towards the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Here we go, chair pose. Nice. From here, a little bit of variation. We're going to bring our hands to heart center, and this is where, again, we're going to get confused because we're all in a circle. You are going to turn to your left. So we're looking over our left shoulder, feel that left foot grounding nice and firm, and then we'll see if we can float the right leg back into its crescent lunge. Inhale, come back through center, realign the spine, hands to the sky. Plant your back heel, Virabhadrasana 1. Check your hips, check your front knee. Exhale to arrowhead. Shoulders away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale. In and out. Inhale, hands to the sky. And exhale, hands to frame your front foot and then walk to the right side of your mat. Nice. Heels out, toes in. This time your option, if you would like it, is to take your middle finger and index finger, hook them around your big toe and seal with your thumb. Inhale for your halfway lift, and as you exhale, you will bend your elbows, encouraging a little bit more of a stretch. If you preferred your hands on the mat, like we did in the first round, take that. 60%. I don't even mind if you want to do 50 or 40% today, honestly. Inhale and exhale. Inhale for your halfway lift and walk back to the top of your mat. Let's step back to our downward facing dog. Option, you can take knees down and thread the needle like we did in the first rounds. Option 2, to build on, strong in your left hand. Really allow it to sink and grip into your mat. And you're going to take your right hand under your body and touch either your shin, your thigh, or the ankle. Try and bring the gaze underneath your armpit. Knees can come down for thread the needle. 60% effort. It's not how far you get, it's how you support your practice. Let's take one more breath. And release our hands back to downward facing dog. Now from here, we are going to wave forward into a plank. I will invite you to bring your knees to the earth if you need to. Same principles, no matter whether your knees are up or down, I want you to be lifting through the shoulders, corkscrewing those wrists, belly's in, tailbone is lengthening. If you have your knees down, I will invite you to hover your knees an inch off the mat and hold them there. We're all going to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's all meet with our knees down. And we're going to soften and lower down to the earth. I have removed all chaturangas from this class. Take a moment to see how you feel about that. There is no right or wrong. Inhale, we're going to come into our baby cobra, but if your body feels ready for it, little lift in the kneecaps, you can press through a king cobra, where your elbows are slightly bent, or you may prefer your upward facing dog, where your thighs are lifted. If you are taking your upward facing dog, gaze is forward, arms are strong. Perfect. I love everybody's picking what works for them. One more inhale. Exhale, melt down towards the floor and press back to your child's pose. Tuck the toes, hips high, downward facing dog. Hop, step, or float, top of the mat. Set up the feet. Find your foundation first and inhale to roll up, hands to the sky. Urdhva Hastasana. Chair pose, Utkatasana. We've been here a few times. Your 60% might have shifted. Checking in. Hands to heart center. We're going to turn to face towards our right. Strong in that right foot, feel that balance, that midpoint, and then we float or step the left foot back. Nice. Hands back through center, up to the sky, ground your heel, warrior one. As you exhale, fold into your arrowhead. Proud chest, in and out, in and out. Inhale, hands up towards the sky, and then down to the earth, and we walk to the left side or the long edge of our mats. This time, option, take hold of the long edges of your feet with your hands. Inhale for your halfway lift and exhale to bend. If you need hands on the earth, any of the other modifications we've taken, enjoy that. If you're thinking, you know what, some blocks would do a treat here, use some blocks. In and out. Halfway lift as we walk back to the top of our mat and step back to our downward facing dog. So we're taking that twist. Remember, thread the needle is your option, lowering the knees. If you're joining me in your downward facing dog, balance strong in your right hand. Left hand is going to float under the body, reaching towards your right thigh or calf. This side might feel different. If you need to take the knee down option on this side, then take it. You don't need to force anything here. This is your practice. One more breath. Coming back to downward facing dog. Waving forward, let's find our plank or bring your knees down, setting up to engage in your knee hover. I'm going to keep talking. That will evoke things for you as you hold a plank. Breathe. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the hips up a little bit higher. Yes, and roll those shoulders back. Keep them up. Tuck the tailbone so your belly buttons try and touch your lower back to my hand here. Lift up. Yep, there we go. Lengthen. Nice. Sorry, I'm just manhandling you. And lower the knees. Well done. You're all like, please make this end. Soften, soften, soften down to the mat. Baby cobra, king cobra, upward facing dog. Make it your own, whatever you need. And then we lower down and press back through child's pose. Inhale. And exhale. We've got one more round on each side. We're going to move through this a little bit faster. Some options in your planks if you are taking them. Let's tuck the toes. We meet in downward facing dog. Hop, step or float, top of the mat. Set up the feet, rolling up. Connect with that midline. Feel the strength in your spine. And exhale, chair pose. Hands to heart center. Now this is very optional. Your option 1 is just like we did. We're going to turn towards the left. Option 2, you will need to sink a little deeper into your hips to place or hook your right elbow over your left knee. If you are taking this option, just make sure your right knee is drawing back and parallel with your left leg. Strong in that left foot, and we step or float our right foot back. Bit of balance if you're in that twist. Nice. Inhale, unravel the arms, hands to the sky, plant your back heel, warrior 1. Arrowhead. In and out, in and out. Inhale, hands to the sky, and exhale them to the earth. Walk to the long edge of your mat, setting your feet up. Inhale for your halfway lift, and exhale your variation of forward fold, whatever is feeling good for you here. In and out. Inhale, just bring it back, halfway lift, and then walking back to the top of the mat. Stepping back, downward facing dog or 4-point kneeling. Right hand reaches towards your left leg or thread the needle. In and out. In and out. Bringing that hand back, downward facing dog. Waving forward to plank or 4-point kneeling. Checking your shoulders, finding your balance. If you are in 4-point kneeling, hovering the knees. If you're in your plank, maybe have a try with really finding focus and ground in your hands and float your right leg just an inch off the earth. Breathe for 3, 2, 1. Bring that foot down, knees to the earth, melting down nice and steady. Inhale for your back bend, baby cobra, king cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale to lower, float through child's pose. This is our final round. Tuck the toes, hips high, downward facing dog. Hop, step or float, top of the mat. And inhale, roll yourself up, hands to the sky. Setting those feet up nice and strong, Utkatasana, chair pose. Hands to heart center. Option 1, turn towards your right. Option 2, hook your left elbow over your right knee. Remember, not necessary. Think 60%. Take a breath, ground through the right foot, and then we will see if we can float our left foot back. It's tricky, nice. Inhale, hands to the sky, ground your heel. Exhale to arrowhead. In and out. In and out. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands to the earth. Walk into the long edge of your mat, setting yourself up. Inhale for your halfway lift. And exhale your forward fold, whatever that is for you at this point of the class. Inhale and exhale. Hands to the earth, little halfway lift. Walk back to the top of your mat and step to Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Knees can come down through your thread the needle variation, or we're going to take our left hand to our right leg. Perfect modifications. One more inhale and exhale. Coming back to your downward facing dog, let's wave ourselves forward, finding our final plank or knees down. Palakasana. Hovering the knees if you're on your knees. If you are in your full plank, maybe have a play with just hovering that left foot up an inch or so. Slow inhale. Long exhale. Lower the foot, lower the knees. Let's melt ourselves down. Inhale for your back bends. And exhale, lower down. Let's just take a moment resting here on our bellies if that feels good for us in crocodile pose. Letting yourself completely release down here. The effort is done. The planks are done. Giving yourself a breath or two just to feel neutrality and softness in the spine and belly. And from here, you can stay on your belly if you're enjoying that, or we press back into a child's pose. Taking a wide knee variation, so toes together, knees wide. We'll walk our hands over towards the right, maybe placing your left hand on top of your right hand. A little bit of a side stretch here. Coming back through center, and then walking the hands over to the left. Again, maybe right hand on top of left hand. And let's come back through center. We're going to roll forward and come back onto our bellies. And then from here, like graceful fish, we're all just going to roll over onto our back. So your head will be facing in towards the center of the circle. Let's bring our feet flat to the floor, knees to the sky, just hands either side of your body. I'm going to bring you through a bridge pose just to do a little bit of activation in the glutes after all that core work. So let's draw our belly in. Try and touch every single vertebra of your spine against the mat. And then as you inhale, you're going to lift your hips up towards the sky. Really squeeze the glutes and try to draw your knees towards the back of the mat. We'll take 3 breaths here. See if you can get those hips up a little bit higher. Subjective breaths. And when you have finished your last breath, see if you can roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Tailbone landing last. Giving your knees a little hug, a little squeeze. At this point, a happy baby might feel really nice for you, where you draw your knees towards your armpits, your feet towards the sky, and then try and take hold of your feet, or you can just hold behind your thighs. If happy baby is not your friend, that's okay, fountain of youth, or any other poses that your body is calling you towards now. And here, even in this state of recovery and cool down, there's still a 60% effort, which sometimes we don't always associate with the sense of rest. What does that mean? 60% effort in rest, just as we had 60% effort through energy. As you're ready, we're going to begin to make our way towards Shavasana. Now for you, that might mean that you would like a couple of extra twists. We have done a lot of twists during class, so don't feel that you have to. You might like a little bit of a shoulder stand if that is part of your practice. Please don't do that if you've not done one before. Just whatever your body's calling towards, until you can make your way into your Shavasana. And Shavasana is a state of rest, a state of softness, a state where there is no more effort or striving. And as we start to make our way there, start to settle in, I'd like to share with you a story, one that I've been reminded of recently, and one that is one of my favorites from my training in meditation. And it is about somebody called Gautama Siddhartha, who was to one day become the Buddha. And Gautama had spent many years in ascetic training, seeking the meaning of life, seeking enlightenment, seeking all the things that each of us seek. He had put his body through many trials. He had sat for countless hours in dark caves. He had starved. He had prayed. And at a point where he was so fatigued, his body so weak, his mind at the end of its road, he collapsed by a river. A local village girl found him, and filled with compassion, she offered him a bowl of sweet porridge. At first, Gautama was not willing to take this offering because it went against all of his ascetic vows, the promise he had made to himself and the divine that he would find enlightenment. But exhausted, he decided to accept. With that first mouthful of food, he felt life return to him. He saw brightness and colour. This girl's compassion shining bright. So he ate his fill. And for the first time in many years, he felt contentment. At this point, he realized that the way to enlightenment, the way to know yourself, is not through deprivation, just as it is not through excessive exertion. It is through the middle way. Just as a lute cannot play if the strings are too tight or too loose, for us to find the depths of ourselves, we too need to find a balance between effort and ease. So let's find our balance. The effort is done. The ease is here. Taking a long, deep inhale. And as you exhale, let everything melt, soften, and relax, bringing yourself back into equilibrium. As we enter our final pose, our sacred pause, our Shavasana. Letting the sounds start to drift over you. Bring you back into the room, into this time. And maybe in these few moments between practice and the day, you set yourself a sankalpa or an intention, something you wish to bring off your mat and into your everyday life. As you're ready, you will bring in some movement, some energy through the limbs, through the head. It might mean gentle wiggling, it might mean stretching or bending. Feeling yourself land back in your body and in the room. You can take a big full body stretch or curl into a little ball. You can roll onto your back. If you're already on your back, you can roll onto your side. And when you're ready, you will find your way into a comfortable seated position, whatever that might be for you. And just like we did at the start of the class, let's bring ourselves into alignment, drawing the belly in, lengthening the spine, tucking the chin. Inhale, we'll take our hands up towards the sky, let the palms connect and draw them down through heart center, meeting in Anjali Mudra or hands on thighs if that is more comfortable for you. To seal our practice, we'll say a single chant of Om. Please feel free to listen or to join in. Inhale to exhale. Inhale for Om. Holding a moment of gratitude for this space, this practice, and for each other. It is with my heartfelt thanks to each of you for being here and sharing your time this morning with me. I close by saying Namaste.